Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday. Yes, it's about a little after 5 a.m. I've been up since about 3. Yes, because I'm used to it. Just the circadian rhythm usually wakes me up anywhere between midnight and 3, depending on when I go to sleep. So yesterday I don't even know what time it was. I got done doing the video and 8 and boom, went to bed. Finished listening to that podcast with Sean Ryan. If you've never seen the Y-Files, you really need to check it out. It is just too fun. And it's kind of my go-to for he's got these compilation series where he puts all these videos together and commentaries in between some of them. Some of them are they're just videos of, you can't even find the titles. It's like they're redacted type of stuff. And they're nested in there. And I wake up and I'm like, wow, that is some interesting shit. And you go through the page and you're trying to find it. Good luck. Anyway. But yeah, he's got some gold nugget information in there. Especially if you're one of those naysayers. You don't believe in the conspiracy theory type of things, or you've been fed one belief and you're having a really hard time breaking away from that whole paradigm. Yeah, probably a good idea to check him out. He has series of stuff like the moon landing, the big one. He's got a few of them on there where he talks about how I think it's the misgivings of the inconsistency, the information that we're fed. Like first they say, yeah, we went there, and they don't give you the real footage. The stuff looks weird, and then now they're saying we can't go back. Well, we did 17 times, so we went 17 times. Why can't we go now? I mean, you don't lose technology. Or, our government tries to lose technology. I mean, we've got people who have made massive technological advances and they've, disappeared the day they're trying to get it patented, because somebody is going to go bankrupt because the information that they have is going to be all-encompassing, humanitarian, and it's like free power for life. You'll never have to pay an electric bill again. Oh, pity. Electric companies are going to crash and burn, but everybody else is going to do okay. Government don't want that kind of thing. Yeah, he covers that kind of crap. Anyway, along with other crazy stuff like Mel's Hole, the time traveler guy, and Art Bell's, discussion. And his channel's really fun. You need to check it out. You really do. I fucking love the guy. Anyway, and I share it. I ask people, hey, have you ever seen the Y-Files? And no. I was like, here, gotta watch this. It's funny. Yeah, good stuff. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate AJ and that channel and, whatnot. So anyway, I got to thinking, because I was kind of like mulling around in the head the other day while I was at work, and I try to do takes just to get it out, and then if I have time I can go watch it. And I was sitting there thinking about the feeding of the karma in respects to this douchebag that I dealt with. And I was watching Lee Hammock all night long because I was trying to stay awake, right? And he was talking about how him being a narcissist had gotten fed his karma from another narcissist, right? And I was sitting there thinking, it's like, God, I don't, what the hell am I feeding? What karma was I fed? I didn't. I've been fed karma, you know, in a relatively short period of time after I make a mistake. So it wasn't anything that was like hidden that I needed to, you know, be punished for. It was a lesson. It was like a life lesson. And it spans from an entire lifetime, childhood of, you know, scapegoat child, people pleasing. That was my lesson. I needed to find a healthy balance. If somebody needs help, then you help them. But by no means does somebody need you to come into their life and try to make right. Because it's very likely you're trying to fix somebody who is responsible for the fact that they're fucked up. Stop people pleasing. Stop being a people pleaser. Stop trying to fix people. So, the life lesson that I was taught by going in there and feeding his karma was that, yeah, you don't need to people please. If the guy wanted to fix his shit, he would have fixed his shit. His whole focus, you know, psychoanalyzing this man's perspective on everything, having literally every day for 15 months seen the way this man is with his kid and how he reacts to, you know, suggestion and advice and things that people, you know, people want to help him and he shits all over it kind of thing, right? He's just a miserable fuck if he wanted to fix it. He's too focused. He was too focused. He was. Because apparently it's been pretty peaceful since this woman got her kid back into her custody, right? The baby mama. He was too focused on fucking destroying her that he left a trail of heartbreak in his wake. Now, I went down on one. And he's still up to his, like, weird, dirty deeds. The girl that he hooked up with 3 weeks after me. Fumbled her. Now he's got somebody new. You know, what is your purpose? What's your fucking, you know, he's so codependent and pathetic that he cons these women into feeling sorry for him. And they come in and they do his bidding for him. They come in and take care of him like a mommy. His laundry and folds his clothes, and he like freaks out if you don't fold his underwear a certain way. Freaks out if you don't fold his towels a certain way. Yeah, he's a fucking psycho. You know, I don't care how my shit's folded as long as it's folded in some capacity where it fits in the spot that I have designated for it. And because I'm so flaky and disorganized, the fucking spot might change. My mom's helping me maintain. She comes in every other week. She's finally designated boxes for the sheets and she folds them. She knows how to fold a fitted sheet. It's magical. Anyway. Go Ma. So this is why I pay her $100 every time she comes. But anyway. I would absolutely love, you know, on the aspect of growth on this channel, and I still do it for free. I you know, this is just, I enjoy getting my stuff out there. I enjoy talking it out. Therapists don't get paid enough to deal with everything on in this head. Anyway, I would love to be able to have like just a conversation and, compare notes with some of these other girls that have dealt with this monster. I would love to share stories and like all of us get drunk and laugh. Like, yeah, how did you escape? How did you get rid of him? What shit storm happened that finally clued you in that he was a complete fucking monster? What was it that set you packing? Was it him? Did you experience a trauma bond withdrawal fucking, weekend of pain? Did you ruminate over the abuse for fucking 2 years? Did, even if you found somebody else, was it still haunting you? All of this crap he did? Did you recognize the abuse and you were too afraid to say anything? I would love to know. I mean, I've had the privilege of being, befriending the baby mama and her and I talking in depth and her divulging, this history book of, he has got a breadcrumb trail of victims or survivors for that matter. His mannerism and behavior is fucking abhorrent. And how he ever got custody of that child is beyond explanation. I can't even fathom. What was his military credentials? Apparently they're not too familiar with fucking military people. Yeah, we fought for our country, but we're a lot of fucking psychopaths out there. And it's because they do a lot of psychological abuse. So you walk out of that institutionalized environment into civilian life and you do not have the same structure. And you fall on your face, or you have to whitewash your entire personality in order to not fucking snap on people. Because that's allowed. Yeah, subordinates and superiors. A superior don't like what a subordinate does, and they just fucking lose their shit on them. Knife hand. I remember this one. He wasn't with us very long. They moved him. I stood there. I was like the acting platoon sergeant of the headquarters. And we were waiting for, NCO to get there. They outranked me to, oversee this. But at the time, that's what my job was. And I stood out. And I had turned around and faced the platoon and I said, everybody, we're gonna play the fucking game, but I want you to just keep your ears open and ear hustle this for a minute. And we listened to this guy, and I was talking calm, cool, and collected with them, and I was like, pay attention. And this man berated his entire platoon, screaming at them for not making appointments. And then turned around the very next day after everybody turns in their appointments, and they all scheduled them because he told them to, and then berated them because now he doesn't have enough people to do the missions that he's been assigned. Yeah. And then he focused his sights on one soldier who had a relationship with an individual who had lied to her and said that he had gotten a divorce, but of course he had children, and then the ex-wife lived nearby so he could have a relationship with his kids. No, he was still married to her. And he was fucking around. Well, he got this girl pregnant. And, yeah, it was kind of fucked up. But anyway, he focused his sights on this girl and harassed and harassed and harassed and harassed and harassed. Finally, it got to a point, like, the first sergeant ended up coming to me and he'd be like, what do you think of him? And I said, I think he's abusive. He's like, what do you mean? I said, it's catch-22 with him. I was like, and it's gaslighting. See, I was already aware of I said, he sat there and screamed at his platoon about not having their fucking dental shit caught up, and then turns around and yells at them for making the fucking appointments. I said, what does he want? He's intimidating the shit out of his squad leaders, and he's not giving them any kind of distinctive criteria or updated information. Okay, we've got this mission, this mission, this mission. This is what I need. This is how many people I need. Squad leaders need you to, correlate the schedule with your people and say, okay, who has this, who has this, who has this, and we're going to go by squad. You guys, you can go and get your shit done. These are the dates that are available. No, he just fucking barked at them, scared them, sent them on their way. They all did what he said, but didn't have any information to kind of go by. That kind of psychotic. Yes, there's a lot of them. I witnessed this shit firsthand. I had let my people know, okay, this is what we got going on. This is what we need. This is what's happening this week. Okay, these are the dates. All right, now I'm one of those critical thinkers, and I kind of like overly observant in that regard, but it was organized. This is what Top wants. This is what I've got, because I was also an armorer. This is what we have happening. They've got missions. I need the cooks in line. I need to find, whoever's in charge over there. They need to get with me so we can coordinate with them, because they've got the vehicles. They got the bodies. So we've got to all work together. And then you, and you, okay, these are the dates. Somewhere between here and here, these are the dates that you can work with, make your appointments or get your vaccines or do whatever the hell it is you need to do. And if you don't need an appointment, just let me know where you're going and what you need to get done, and we'll make it fucking happen. There was I had one soldier, she needed to be an officer. Why the fuck she came in as a specialist, I will never know. Absolutely incredible computer mind. I mean, her and I worked on stuff, and she's like, the business, I know the equipment. What is he looking for? I said, he needs to be able to see it and have it function in real time. These people are out on mission. These people are here at the FOB. These people have appointments. These people are on Rear D. If the attendance changes, he wants it fixed right then. Oh, she had a spreadsheet programmed. So she could literally update it, and then we had it hooked to a computer, and it was on this gargantuan whiteboard. Yep. I told her what it needed to look like. She made it happen. We shared a brain. First sergeant thought we walked on water. And every platoon sergeant in there was like, that is awesome. I was like, yeah, you just give us your list of shit and we'll make it fucking... Right? Well, then this guy, this abusive fucker, he was an E7. He came in and he was a dickhead. Now, the guy that used to be in charge of that platoon, he ETS. Or not, he didn't ETS. He PCS to Germany. He's now like a command sergeant major. He's fucking awesome, right? That was my platoon sergeant. He was so mild-mannered. He was so cool. He was so down to earth. He was so, interpersonal, that when we got this psychotic asshat in, it culture shocked the fuck out of his entire platoon. They were all miserable. I mean, I was turning into like therapist. They were coming in the arms room. I'm like, what? They're like, he's an asshole. I said, yeah, what do you want me to do about it? Call EO. Open door with first sergeant. Something got to give. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't like him either. Yeah. He's over the fucking top. Control freak. Asshole. Yeah. He's a fucking dickhead. Yeah. And that's what I got involved with. Someone like that. But this guy that I got involved with was irresponsible. He was the same kind of projection of personality as this douchebag after I got to know him. So, douchebag NCO and the dude that I was involved with, when I got involved with this narcissist, not realizing that he was, what scared me the most and put me into submission was the mere fact that his mannerism was exactly like the abusive fucking NCO that I dealt with before I PCS to Germany. And it was on the surface. I mean, there was no denying it, and everybody was complaining. And yeah, they removed him. He wasn't there 3 months in that unit, and they got rid of him because we don't need that kind of stress. Because when you're that stressed out, mistakes happen. When mistakes happen, that's when all shit hits the fan. Yeah. I'll never forget that man's name. Anybody who was ever abusive to me, I cannot forget their names. There's people who are good people, cannot remember their names. Got their faces in my head. But all the abusers, whether it was directed at me or towards somebody else, if I saw it, I can never forget it. But it just gives you an idea where I stand, where I sit, and the things that I talk about and why I talk about them. It's kind of educational because a lot of people, they go through life with blinders on. And as long as it's not happening to them, they don't really care. But then if they have a family member that comes to them with a problem similar to anything that I've discussed, they don't know how to handle it. Yeah, they're like, I don't know. They might have been a victim of abuse too, but they have a better way of being able to, like, put a mental block on it or, like, brush it off. There's a lot of people in this world that the abuse, it compiles it to the point where they just can't brush it off. It's like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this repeated crap? So the lesson that I learned was no longer people-pleasing. Yeah. Basically, the universe says, you know what? You need to exercise the capacity to just be discerning of who needs your help and who don't, and who's a whiny bitch and you brought this shit on yourself. Not my fucking problem. There's a lot of people in this world that, like me, they, oh my God, you're struggling, let me come in and help you. Yeah. Stand back, watch the whole picture, and learn the backstory. And then psychoanalyze before you take action to think that it is necessary for you to fucking step in and help them. Because if I had not stepped in and helped that man, I wouldn't even be having these conversations. I was content as a cucumber before I got involved with that piece of shit. Yeah, and the house was cleaner too. So, food for thought. Be observant. And just because it doesn't apply to you doesn't mean it's not important. Think about it. Sometimes, pondering before you act is probably, sometimes not doing anything at all and just kind of waiting it out is probably the better idea than hastily rushing in trying to be someone's fucking superhero. Not everybody needs to be saved. Not everybody deserves to be saved. Sometimes the shit that they're going through is their karma. Let them receive it.